For the longest time I believed that once I'm a successful artist, I will be happy. And success is an endpoint, a destination that I can reach. Once I have enough sales, once I have enough followers, once I have international exhibitions, once I win all the awards, once the collectors are lining up in my DMs, and the girls are lining up in my DMs, then I will be happy. And when all of that happens, except for the girls lining up in the DMs, because for some reason they don't actually do that. When all of it happened, the most unexpected thing happened as well. The strangest thing happened, and that is what this video is about. It took me the awards and the exhibitions and the money and the sales and all of it to tell you what I'm about to tell you in 10 minutes. Early on in my art career, I was obsessed with researching, finding out the perfect strategy, the perfect blueprint, reading all of the books, reading the autobiographies, watching all the videos, constantly trying to learn more things. Because I believed that once I found the perfect blueprint, everything would fall into place. But what I didn't realize is that all of that research was just laziness in disguise. I wasn't actually doing anything. I was just procrastinating. And the reason I was procrastinating is because I was afraid. I wouldn't have called it out as fear at that time. At the time, I obviously thought that I was moving forward, that I was becoming better, that I was becoming smarter. But I was just lazy. I was afraid. And I was afraid of making a mistake. I was afraid of pricing my art too high or pricing my art too low, or making a particular video that then would be laughed at, and the collectors 10 years later or 20 years later would use that video to then show how stupid I was back in the days, and then my art career would be over for decades because of that one mistake that I would have made. And then when I was finally ready to put my art up for sale, the big moment, this would change everything. Once it's for sale, people will buy it. I started doubting again, but this time with different arguments. What if I sell an artwork and then the collector claims that the artwork didn't arrive? What then? Or what if I sell an artwork and then it's damaged in transition? Then I lose the whole goddamn thing. What if? Then I would be in the same spot again. This went on for a while, and in that time I was making some art, but I wasn't feeling good. Nothing was moving forward, and so I knew something had to change, and I did the abrupt, aggressive thing. I went into an apartment where there was no internet, no phone, no TV, no Netflix, no nothing, and I locked myself up for 3 months, the entire summer. Now all the other kids were going to the festivals. All the other people were having fun. This was summertime, and I was sitting there I wanted to do something crazy. I wanted to make an artwork that was absolutely amazing. A series of artworks that would change everything. Then at least I have one pillar of being an artist, namely making amazing art. And then I can figure out the rest later. And so in that apartment, I copy-pasted strategies of Da Vinci, like polyphasic sleeping patterns, and tried all sorts of stuff. Eventually I developed a painting medium to paint with lightning from the skies, the first human being to ever doing that. Throwing 50,000 volts of static electricity on a painting, just like the god Zeus. I felt amazing. I felt absolutely amazing. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't doing what the rest was doing. I wasn't going out. There was nothing to feel amazing, but I felt amazing because of the progress that was happening. And then afterwards, once that painting medium was finished, I still didn't sold anything. I still was in the same position. And I stagnated again. And that amazing feeling went to a disgusting feeling. Disgusted with myself. Look at what you've created. Look at the thing that you're proud of. And what are you doing with this? Nothing. Why? Because you're not good enough. Because you can't do anything with it, Dries. Look at how incapable you are. And the thoughts go into your mind and they destroy you to some extent. Now, despite the doubts and the uncertainties and the bad feelings, I started to push myself a little bit. I started to post online. I started to try and sell my art. I started to post my art on various online art websites, and I started to get those first sales coming in. And one sale became 10 sales, and 10 sales became 100 sales. And I started to win some awards, and I went on some exhibitions, and the whole thing became better and better and better. And as I became better, as I gained more results, small results, I started to feel amazing again. Everything was great. And then I reached this point of 2-3K a month, nothing to write home about yet. This is beginner stage. And I feel amazing. And I start to stagnate. I start to still work, but not really progress anymore. I was just doing the same things. I was just fooling myself a little bit that I was pushing myself. And during that stagnation moment, I feel absolutely terrible. Nothing is working. The emotions are not aligned up. And so I'm working while feeling terrible. And then, because I made some mistakes, because I did some tax things wrong, I was doing my own taxes. This was the beginning of my career, and so I didn't really knew that much about taxes, and I delayed the taxes a little bit, and so I got a lot of fines, $15,000 in fines, and the bailiffs come knocking at my door. I don't have $15,000, and they knock on my door. Now at this moment I'm terrified. What is going to happen? I don't have $15,000. The next time they come knocking at my door, they will be there with police. They will be taking my stuff away. And I will have to admit that to the people surrounding me. They will look down on me. They will feel like, what is this guy? He can't do anything. He's still a loser. And so I'm terrified. And in those 2 weeks following that, or 1 week, I don't exactly remember how long, the stress is unbearable. I'm walking around outside and I'm becoming dizzy in my mind. It's just the dizziness. I can barely walk anymore. If I try to run, after 10 seconds or so, I became dizzy. I couldn't run. I couldn't work out. I couldn't do what I was normally doing. And this lasted for about a week. And in the next 2-3 months, what followed was pure power. Pure amazingness. I felt this was the best time ever. I was growing massively. I was pushing myself like never before. And so this bad stagnation feeling transformed in the best possible feeling ever. And before I knew it, I pushed my odds to far over 10K a month. I was closing deals where I got paid 4-figure sums for an hour of work. 1 hour of work. And so unthinkable results. In no time, with information that I already had at my disposal for many years. I didn't need to do more research. I didn't need to do a better blueprint or anything. I already had the information. And interestingly, when this bad thing happened, the bailiffs knocking on my door, the months after that, I'm thrilled. It's the best time ever. Now, what I realized at this moment made me very emotional. It's the reason why I'm recording this video. My blissful state, my dream state, my amazing future wasn't tied up to a destination, an endpoint that I needed to achieve. It wasn't tied up to the exhibitions or the awards or the magazine feature or anything of that nature. It was clearly tied up to the progress, the journey. The moment I was climbing, I felt great. The moment I was stagnating, I felt terrible. And so feeling great wasn't part of an endpoint. It was available every single day. As long as I tapped into it, as long as I went on the climb. The reality is that the difference between not chasing your goals and chasing your goals is huge. But the difference between chasing small goals and chasing big goals is almost non-existent. It's almost non-existent. All of the feelings, all of the joyful states, all of the best possible scenarios for your life are within hand's reach. They are available to you every single day. And once I realized this, I started to see this in every aspect of my life. Recently, 1 week ago, last week, I reached 50 kg, 50 kilogram chin-ups. Now this is a very important milestone, a very important PR, so to speak. A year ago, I was at the 35 kg mark. A year before that, 20 kg or whatever, you know. Here's the important part. 50 kg, felt the same as 35 kg. 35 kg feels the same. You're as happy as 25 kg. You're not more happy. There's no increase in happiness. And so what does this mean? It means that you are 3 weeks away from feeling as good as those superstar Instagram fucking models with their jacked six packs. You are 3 weeks away of feeling as good, not of having the six pack, but feeling as good. The moment you start to progress in whatever dream you have, that is the moment you reach a feeling of proudness, of satisfaction, of admiration towards yourself. Some strange way that equals that of the superstars that you're admiring. Now, this is a very important realization because all of your fears, all of your doubts, all of your mistakes, all of the future negative thoughts that come into your mind, all of that just fades away, melts away in the face of this realization. Think about it. Making a mistake or getting scammed or your artwork being damaged in transit, all of that doesn't matter and will have zero impact on your emotional state. Your artwork being destroyed will have zero impact on your emotional state. It will make you feel bad for 5 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. Recently, my Instagram account got cancelled. Something I've been working on for years and years and years because I told the truth, because I said something bad about Instagram themselves. And how did it make me feel? Nothing. I didn't care. This is the reality of life. Your artwork getting damaged in transit will make you feel way more alive than doing research and doing nothing. If you are on the climb and your artwork gets damaged or somebody scams you or you have some negative comment on your post, if you're on the climb, it will not be able to touch you because of that amazing feeling. And so what do you need to do? How do you put this realization in practice? How do you do that? By focusing on things that clearly show you that you are progressing, but in a way that you can control it. So you don't focus on, for example, followers and likes because you can't control. You don't know how many likes you will get. But you focus on, for example, the amount of books that you read about communication and the amount of tips that you've executed on throughout your communication, or the amount of sales books you've read and the amount of tips that you actually used in real life. And you make a list of that. And as you make that list, you can see how much you are growing. You can see that you are on the climb, that you're actually doing stuff. And you will feel a flood of amazing, absolutely proud emotions coming your way. Now, this is one of the most important realizations because it enables you to feel amazing at all levels of skill, at all age groups, at all moments in your life. Sure, let's say you start your art career, you start another business at the age of 50 or at the age of 60. Your goal might be a smaller goal than a guy at the age of 25 who's been doing it for 10 years. Sure. But it will feel the same. It will feel the same because the climb feels like the climb. The grind feels like the grind. The journey on the process, like being in the journey, feels like being in the journey. And so you are literally 3 weeks away from feeling as good as Michael Jackson, from feeling as good as Damien Hirst, from feeling as good as a superstar. Because the feeling of progress is just the only good feeling in the world. It's the only feeling that matters. I'm exaggerating a little bit, it's not the only feeling, but you get the idea. The moment you can tap into this, you feel as good as these other superstars that you look up to on Instagram or on YouTube. Now, if you are sick of doing research and postponing and not doing anything, I've made a free PDF execution checklist with 50 tricks used by the 50 best artists to start executing whenever they want. Link in the description, it's free. And for those artists who are thinking about starting their art business, I've made a video starting your art business, a guide for introverts without an audience. Link in the description and in the end screen. That said, get the hell out of here.